federal government completed its 5-year constitutional term late Thursday, after which the interim government is set to take over the reins of the country from today. The provincial assemblies of Balochistan and Punjab have already completed their 5-year term. Sindh and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa assemblies already completed their tenure on May 28th. The names for caretaker chief ministers of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Punjab and Balochistan could not be finalized by the respective provincial governments and oppositions. The matter is likely to be forwarded to respective parliamentary committees. The outgoing Sindh government and opposition, however, named Fazlur Rahman as the caretaker chief minister of the province. The general elections across the country will be held on July 25th. The outgoing Prime Minister addressing the last National Assembly session said Pakistan's issues can only be resolved by a government which comes through the will of the people. The United States said it appreciated the joint decision of Pakistan and India to fully implement the ceasefire understanding of 2003. Spokesperson for the U.S. Department of State said that improvement in Indo-Pak relations was beneficial to all stakeholders involved. On Tuesday, the Inter-Services Public Relations had said in a statement that a special hotline contact was established between the Director Generals of Military Operations of Pakistan and India. Both DMGOs reviewed the ongoing situation on the line of control and the working boundary and agreed mutually to undertake some sincere measures to improve the current state of affairs to ensure peace and avoid hardships to the civilians along the borders. It was also agreed upon that in the case of an issue, restraint would be exercised and the matter will be resolved through the utilization of existing mechanisms of hotline contacts and border flag meetings at the local commanders level. The Supreme Court nullified the lifetime disqualification of the former Foreign Minister Khwaja Mohammad Asif. A 3-member bench headed by Justice Umar Atta Bindial announced the verdict. Khwaja Asif is now eligible to contest in upcoming elections, which are scheduled to be held on July 25th. On April 27th, Asif was disqualified by the IHC under Article 62(1)(f) of the Constitution for failing to disclose his employment in a UAE company and the monthly salary he was receiving. The bench, which also comprises Justices Faisal Arbab and Sajjad Ali Shah, had earlier reserved its decision on the appeal filed by the Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz stalwart challenging his April 27th lifetime disqualification by the Islamabad High Court. Asif had filed the appeal on May 2nd. Nawaz Sharif remarked that some people are bent on delaying the upcoming general elections. Former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif said while speaking to media outside the Accountability Court that some people appear before every election who do not want fair election, but in my opinion, this is going to be a big election. Ups and downs are a part of life. A person should try to stay happy all the time. Javed Hashmi also reached the Accountability Court and in his short media talk, he said that I am here to congratulate Mia Sahab. PMLN completed its 5-year tenure even though there was daily speculation that the government would end soon. Hashmi further remarked that delaying elections will pose a threat to democracy. People who believe in democracy and have respect for vote have struggled alongside Nawaz Sharif. US Ambassador Nikki Haley said US will veto UN draft on protecting Palestinians. Nikki Haley said that the resolution calls on Israel to immediately cease its actions in self-defense but makes no mention of Hamas's aggressive actions against Israeli security forces and civilians. The United States circulated its own draft resolution demanding that Hamas cease all violent activity and provocative actions, including activity along the boundary fence between Israel and Gaza. She also delivered a blunt warning to European countries and others on the Council who decide to back the Kuwait text. 2 weeks ago, Kuwait presented a draft initially calling for an international protection mission for the Palestinians as protests turned violent on the Israeli-Gaza border. Haley said those who choose to vote in favor of this resolution will clarify their own lack of fitness to take part in any credible negotiations between the two parties. US President Donald Trump is expected to receive a letter from his North Korean counterpart Kim Jong-un today. Back in Pyongyang, the Korean leader recommitted his isolated state to denuclearization, boosting hopes of what would be an extraordinary diplomatic turnaround just a week after Trump threatened to cancel preparations. Kim's right-hand man, Kim Jong-chol, was due in the US Capitol talks in New York with Secretary of State Mike Pompeo for what the US diplomat called real progress towards holding the planned June 12 summit. Pompeo suggested things are moving in the right direction. It will take bold leadership from Chairman Kim Jong-un if we were able to seize this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to change the course for the world. Many expert observers expect, perhaps with tactic Chinese backing from Kim, to demand from Washington to also reduce its own military footprint in South Korea and loosen its guarantees to treaty ally Japan. Ukraine was under fire after it admitted staging the murder of anti-Kremlin journalist Arkady Babchenko, despite relief in Russia and Ukraine that he was alive. When Ukrainian authorities were blaming Russia that Arkady Babchenko had been shot dead at his home in a contract-style killing, Babchenko made shock appearance at a press conference in Kyiv less than 24 hours after the announcement of the Ukrainian authorities. Ukraine security services said his death was faked to foil an assassination plot by Moscow, but Russian officials reacted with anger to what they branded as anti-Russian provocation. Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko later met Babchenko and wrote triumphantly on Facebook that millions of people are celebrating the journalist's return of life. The operation fooled the world's media and angered press freedom groups, which raised fears about the impact it could have on the work of journalists around the globe. Several Western commentators and reporters said it would be difficult to trust official statements from Ukraine again. International Cricket Council Chief Executive David Richardson said it was an English viewpoint that young people are not attracted to cricket. England's top cricket administrator feels that young people no longer care about cricket. Colin Graves, the England and Wales Cricket Board chairman, sparked controversy with his recent comment that young people are just not attracted to cricket and said that globally we are seeing in our sport, compared to other sports, the average age of the fan is lower than even football and certainly rugby. David Richardson, the chief executive of the International Cricket Council, said that this is the England point of view on cricket game. But the next year's World Cup in England and Wales represents a brilliant opportunity to prove the doubters wrong. And finally, the weather. Very hot and dry weather is expected in most parts of the country. However, light rain is expected at one or two places in Gilgit-Baltistan. And that's the news for today. For more news and analysis, keep watching humsab.tv.
Please subscribe to Hums Up TV and hit the notification icon on the screen to get the latest updates of our channel. Thank you for watching Hums Up TV.